So I have my mom, my dad, and then I have a little sister who is 16, and I have 3 dogs, and then a hamster. In middle school, I was really involved in youth group. I really liked the closeness that my youth group had. My sophomore year is when I started getting really involved in band, and that's more like I started marching band in sophomore year. And throughout after that, that was just really my main thing was band. My junior year at state, I had this weird thing for fitting as much food in my mouth as I could. I fit 4 Twinkies in my mouth at state. And then my sophomore year, I fit 38 Sour Patch Kids. My mouth was numb for a week. So around the time of prom, I remember prom day, I cried like 3 times because I was so stressed out, but really when I think about it, it's because I was starting to get sick, and I started losing my appetite, so I would lose weight, but it still felt like I was like 400 pounds because I couldn't do anything physical without having to stop and take a minute or 2 break. I remember looking up, I was pulsating in my neck, and I thought that was really weird. So I looked it up on Google, and I was like going through the symptoms, dizziness, weak, fatigue, and I'm going through all these things, and I thought it could have been a heart problem. I was going through all the things that could be wrong, and I remember scrolling past leukemia, and I was like, no, I don't have leukemia. It was crazy to think, looking back, how you don't think it'll happen to you, like, oh, I don't have that. And so graduation, walking was kind of it was a struggle for me. And then after graduation, it just kept getting worse. I kept having headaches. I'd be so dizzy. And finally, one day after work, I was crying because I had such a big headache, and my stomach felt really queasy. And so my mom decided to take me into urgent care. So I went to the Lafayette Hospital, and I got 2 blood transfusions. They brought the oncologist in, and the oncologist looked at my blood sample and diagnosed me with leukemia. And then that night I was transferred to the Children's Hospital in Aurora, and that's when I started my whole treatment. It is challenging because I think about every single person I graduated with, how they're going to college and they're doing like really fun things, like they all went to Mexico, and then I'm here and I just got diagnosed with cancer. It's really hard because thinking it's not fair. It's just not fair for me. The only question that I always ask myself, or I get mad at God, and why me? What did I do? And I know that this isn't a punishment. I know God's not punishing me, but so I think it's more of a lesson. Like, this was to slow me down in life, because when you think about growing up, you don't want to make mistakes, and I think I would have made a lot of mistakes, honestly, if I didn't get diagnosed with leukemia, because now I have to take time to think about everything. Cancer, it's an awful disease, but it makes you really reflect on your life, and it makes you think deeper and have a better understanding for life. Going into the hospital was really hard, and knowing that I'm going to be there for like 4 days is even harder. To me, what really helps me is when I have friends who I know they're busy, who with school or work, but they take their time out of their day to ask me how I'm doing. Seeing God move through this is just, again, the power of prayer does work. I have so many people praying for me, and that's just amazing, seeing how communities come together, like churches are all praying for me, and seeing that God answers prayer. So that's one of the biggest ones.
And you make me brave. You make me brave. You call me out beyond the shore into the waves. You make me brave. You make me brave. No fear can hinder now the love that made a way.
So for me, I just want to get through this first couple of years, and then after I'm done with my treatment, I plan on going to CSU and studying business, human resource management. Sometimes it gets challenging, like when I'm in the hospital and I don't feel good. That's when it gets hard too. For me, I would really appreciate prayers about giving me strength to get through this because it's really hard. Also giving my family strength, so just pray for strength.